Hey, it's me again, and I'm running my mouth, which is my favorite pastime. And I want to talk about abandonment and betrayal and maybe get a better insight onto what it really is and who's doing it. Um, if you've had unsuccessful relationships in your life, a pattern of those unsuccessful relationships, then you probably have abandonment and betrayal issues. Those of us who came from traumatic childhoods, we certainly do. We all have them. And I suspect you will have them too. Okay. Um, I was taking an online course of Robert Ohada's, and he's talking about the shadow side, and the shadow side of us is those parts of us that we don't like to acknowledge, and it's those parts of us that is behavior that kicks in, coping mechanisms that we learned as children to get through, you know, the crazy alcoholic parents and the schizophrenics and all the other stuff that we had to put up with. It's our codependent that we learned how to do that so we could survive childhood. It's the addict. It's all those behaviors that we have. It's the perfectionist, the tyrant, those people. Once a codependent, once an addict, once a perfectionist, you'll always be that. It's hardwired into your brain. We've done it for so many years that we're not going to get rid of it. But what we can learn to do is to recognize what triggers those behaviors so that we can control them and we can neutralize them. That's the goal, because we're not going to get rid of it. We're not. Once a codependent, always a codependent. I find that I can catch myself fairly quickly now when I start doing that. I try anyway, and you can learn to recognize those triggers yourself, and so that you can have some successful relationships with people. Okay, unless you like being lonely. Personally, I'm not that big on it. We use these mechanisms to try and control the situation, so that we aren't vulnerable, because that scares us. We try and control the pain, and it's impossible to control pain. The only thing you can do with pain is feel it. You can't control it. Our emotions are the language of the soul. So you're not going to get rid of it. You've got to learn to deal with your emotions, to feel them. You can't stuff them. That's what most of us try to do, is we stuff them and get away from them. It's impossible. You're wasting your time. Those soul contracts that we made with those emotional, unavailable people in our lives, we all have one or two of them at some time or another. We love some of them. We marry some of them. We're born into families full of them. And sometimes they're us. We are them. I see in the face of the enemy, and it's me. It'd be so easy to say that, the emotionally unavailable person doesn't care, but that's not true. They care a lot. They care a lot. I thought for a long time they just didn't want to, deal with the pain of abandonment, and I didn't understand where the abandonment came from. It's not exactly that. There's many facets to it. You're afraid to be loved. That's what it is. We're afraid to be loved because if you love us, which we so desperately need, emotionally unavailable people desperately crave love, but they're so afraid of losing it that they don't even try. Sometimes they won't even try. or they'll try a little bit. Um, and then when they feel it and it feels so good, then they start to get afraid and they have to protect themselves because they don't have enough self-esteem to think that they can handle it. And they're afraid of, they think, well, I'm going to be abandoned. Someone's going to abandon me. I'm going to be betrayed. Well, it's not always the other guy that's doing the abandoning. I hate to tell you that. A lot of that's projection. Because what we end up doing is, in order to protect ourselves, we get involved with emotionally unavailable people. We do that because we can control the pain. We know what to expect. We've been there before. And if by some fluke we attract somebody who's reasonably healthy, for some reason we can't fathom that they actually love us and like us, then we do this little dance with them. We push them away. You get too close and I push you away. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to say something. I'm going to do something. It's going to push you away. Because, well, one, I want to test you, see what you're going to do, see what's going to happen. I want you to prove to me, though, even though I push you away, I want you to prove to me that you're going to be there and that you're not going to abandon me, although I expect you to, on the other hand. If you hang in there and I keep pushing you away, and if you're reasonably healthy, you will eventually move away in order to protect yourself. And now that's betrayal and abandonment. And you prove that what I knew was right, that I'm not lovable. And I'll push you away because I don't want you to see who I really am, because I'm not lovable. I'm not perfect. I'm afraid. So I'm going to protect myself, just like you are. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to abandon you. Because I'm going to force you. I'm going to force you to abandon me. Yep. Confirming all along that I was right, that I am not lovable. Yeah. I'm going to control the outcome. That's what I'm going to try to do. And if you do love me and you let me treat this miserably the way that I'm treating you, then there's obviously something wrong with you. Yeah, you wouldn't put up with my shit. You're weak and I can manipulate you. And I certainly don't want somebody I can manipulate. Why would you put up with somebody who's as shallow as I am anyway? So, obviously you don't have any value. If you don't have value, why do I want you? Well, actually, if you do have a lot of value, you might scare the shit out of me. Now, that's another thing, too. Why would anybody with any real value want me? That's a good question. But if I don't control you, if I don't control the situation, you'll leave me, and it's just a no-win situation. It's all about control. It's all about control. But it's not just controlling the pain. The real issue is, I don't think I can deserve to be loved. And we stop feeling love. We don't want to feel the love because it has the most loss value. If you're just a son of a bitch, and you treat me badly, I could lose that. Doesn't cost me much. Oh, painful, but not going to cost me. But if you really love me, and you're a great person, man, that's a lot to lose. Yeah. That's a big one. So we can deal with the pain, but we can't deal with the love, because it's what initiates the fear. You just hang in there. And what the hell do I do? What's the problem? And you keep doing that. You keep pushing people away, and then eventually you restore any opportunity that you ever had of having something that's good. Because you'll always have this pattern of, they're going to abandon me. I want to abandon them first. I'm going to abandon them. I'm going to force them to push me away. So what we do is we shut down. We disappear. We distance ourselves. We compartmentalize. We stop feeling. We stop feeling the good stuff, and we hedge our bets. We continue relationships with unavailable people because we can control that. But you can't not feel for long periods of time. You got to feel something. Severe depression. It's kind of like a cutter. Well, I mean, they cut off their feelings and just close down. So they cut themselves. So they feel something. They get grounded in their pain. We can get grounded in our emotional pain too. We can cut off all the love inside of us, and then we can just feel the pain of the abandonment and the betrayal. At least we're feeling something. We're feeling something. Self-pity, martyrdom comes to mind. But none of that's very healthy, is it? No. But we will allow ourselves to feel the pain of the abandonment because we're accustomed to it. We're accustomed to it. But we're not going to let somebody get close enough to us to really love us. We're not going to let them do that. Well, you can't keep doing that. The universe is not going to allow you to do that. In sometime in the lifetime, you're going to have to deal with these issues. You're going to have to give it up. You're going to have to learn how to love. So, how do you want to do that? You just can't keep shutting down your feelings. No. So, first thing you have to do is you have to stop running. You have to recognize what you're doing, that you are the one who's doing all the abandoning. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You're the one's doing it. You can play at being in love. You can run from one person to the next. You can do that. Fulfills a need. You can, give you some feelings. But that's a bit cowardly, and it's dishonest, and it hurts other people when you do that. Yeah. But you know what to expect. You know how to do that. And if you don't have the expectations from anyone, then they can't disappoint you much, can they? So you can have relationships with people you don't expect anything from. Safe. You do that. So we end up all the time with people who abandon us. By either choosing people we know are emotionally available, or if by accident we find somebody who really does genuinely love us, is reasonably healthy, we're going to do something to push them away and prove ourselves right. And we're going to tell them, I like that line, you deserve better. You deserve better than me. No, I don't think so. I think it's a stupid statement, actually, because it's an excuse. It's an excuse to what? And if you have been trying to manipulate and control in the first place, and if you've been honest and vulnerable, you would never have gotten yourself in that situation. But you have to use that excuse. No, you were trying to have intimacy without responsibility. And it got too much out of control, and now you got to push somebody. So how do you change a pattern? Well, we recognize it. We recognize we're the ones who are doing the abandoning. We're pushing people away from us. We accept the responsibility for our lives. Stop blaming other people. We stop trying to control them. It's the control that pushes the people away. We start trying to live our lives through other people. We don't use people as excuses. We can't live through our children. We can't live through our spouses, our mates. We have to live our lives. We have to feel our feelings. We can't use them as excuses. We accept people how they are. No, we just accept them. We don't judge them. We don't try to improve them. Because, they're okay. We're all okay. You're okay. You are. I know you don't believe that, but you are. And you're enough. And if we start hanging in there and being vulnerable and trying to be honest and work things through, then we're going to find out that just maybe people are going to see us and they're going to tell us we're okay. That's an option. We've got to risk being loved. That's what it is. It's not that people are going to abandon us. We have to risk being loved. It scares the hell out of us. It does. And we have to play it through. We need to let people love us, wherever they are. No one's perfect, including us. We can recognize when a codependent kicks in. We can stop trying to control people. We give them another job. Our codependent might try working on fixing us. That's an option. A few of us are Mother Teresa. I'm not. Are you? No, I don't think so. We all need to work on ourselves. We'd reached our highest level of consciousness, we wouldn't be here in this lifetime to begin with, and you wouldn't be sitting here watching me, that's for sure. We can take a deep breath. Yeah, we can just take a couple of deep breaths and maybe just allow ourselves to feel what it really is like to be loved and realize that it's okay. It's a strange feeling to us, but we can really do that. We're not going to die if someone takes it away. It's going to hurt, but what hurts more is not to feel anything. Letting somebody love you doesn't mean that you have to make a commitment to them. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. But when people offer you love, you acknowledge it. You don't push it away. You open your heart. There'll be people there that maybe you don't want them in your space, But when you're honest and vulnerable, people know that. You can talk it out. You can set boundaries. You're not going to lose yourself. You're frightened most of the time that you can lose yourself. If somebody really loves you and it feels really terrific, you're afraid that you will lose yourself. Now they're going to have control over you. And you certainly can't let that happen. But you got to let people love you. You have to see it through. You enjoy it. That means you have to do anything. You don't have to do anything. Just let yourself be loved. You don't have to earn love. And you can't destroy love. It's energy. It's not going to be destroyed. So recognize that. Stop being indifferent. Yeah, I mean, the opposite of love is not hate. It's indifference, by the way. It's indifference. And it's not fair to be indifferent to anybody. That's not the right thing to do. We have to recognize that because I don't agree with you, I don't agree with your behavior, I'm not betraying you. You have to recognize, because somebody takes care of themselves first, that's not betraying you. How you're taking care of yourself first, that's for sure, because you're pushing them away. But people need to take care of themselves and their needs. That's not abandonment. That's not betrayal. Betrayal is done with intent to hurt. Taking care of your own needs, sticking to boundaries, and not putting up with childish behavior, not putting up with bullying, is not betrayal, and that's not abandonment. And if your codependent is so big and so strong that you're drowning the other person, and then they have to walk away from you, that is not betrayal. It's not. And that's not abandoning you. It's not abandonment. It's protecting yourself. So we can stop being victims and martyrs. We can learn a little compassion. We can try and see where the other guy's coming from. We can try and see ourselves through the other person's eyes. You can see that. That's an option. Try that. Just relax. Stop running. See it through. Work it out. Be vulnerable. Talk about things. Huh? Quit. Put swords down. I don't think people go to swords all the time. No. What is that? Two swords and a tarot card. Put the damn swords down. Quit defending yourself. Stop it. Stop pushing people away. They're not abandoning you. You're abandoning them. You're abandoning yourself. That's who's abandoning. You're abandoning yourself. We can't run from our feelings. The only thing you can do with your feelings is feel them. And you know what happens? At first, it scares the shit out of you, all right? And they can be really tremendous. But after you deal with it for a while, and you allow yourself just to feel whatever it is you feel, and stop trying to control it, gets easier, and it doesn't last for so long. The discomfort doesn't last for so long. Just let it go through you. Because there's no place to run to. You can't run. There's no place to go. You have to deal with it. You have to deal with that. Because the universe, we're here to learn how to love. So you might as well do it. And shutting yourself off because somebody hurt you, because they didn't do things your way, and you couldn't control them. No, that's not abandonment. And that's not betrayal. You're the one who abandoned them. You abandoned them because they didn't agree with you, and you couldn't control them. Okay? Think about that. You might find some changes in your life might work out. You have options. We all have options.